Hello everyone and welcome to the Witch Switch, where we switch off everyday normal life and switch on to the witchery. If you're new here, welcome. I have been a tarot reader for about 12 years and I have taken a little break from YouTube. I wanted to connect with people on a more personal basis, but recently I've been called to do videos again. So here I am doing a video. But I'm going to do a collective one to just kind of get myself warmed up before I do individual readings. Okay. If you have joined me before, welcome back. Now, I will say that I cannot often post as much as I want, but I'm a girl of quality, not quantity. So I'm not going to keep pumping out videos for the sake of pumping them. It just loses all value. And I want to give you value. I don't want to give you the same thing that's circling all around YouTube, the internet, whatever these other readers are doing. To each his own, right? But I like to add a little bit of a personal touch to my videos, okay? Every one of the zodiac signs have their own unique talents, traits, perspective, level of intelligence, just emotional depth. Everyone has their own unique qualities. And the whole premise of my reading is to make you aware of what your qualities are based on your zodiac sign. How can you handle these situations in front of you if you don't know about your archetype? Okay, so with that, I like to remind you of who you are, what you're capable of, what you shouldn't do, what is your weakness as well as your strengths, and utilize it every day because they really can benefit you. Self-awareness is key when it comes to astrology, divination, even anything in the metaphysical. If you want a better understanding of yourself and if you want to change your surroundings in the world, the first step is within you. So that's what I like to do. So I'm going to start with the general. And, you know, we are in Scorpio season. Okay, it is November 10th, 2005, and Mercury retrograde just happened yesterday, November 9th. Okay, actually, I don't know which sign it's in. Is it in Sagittarius? I think it's in Sagittarius. I could be wrong. But then Venus just also entered Scorpio as well. So I'm getting a sense that the theme for a lot of us is obviously, you know, Scorpio's typical aesthetic, death and rebirth, but it's much deeper than that. See, as I mentioned before, every zodiac sign has their own uniqueness, their own archetype, their own elements and themes. It's going to apply differently for everyone. So depending on which zodiac sign you fall under, the theme may be different, right? This is why personal readings are so much better. Because I get a little more information as to who you are, your personal zodiac sign, and even if you know your rising and your moon, right? So it's just better to read when you have more specifics. But I feel that everyone is going through a whole new transformation. It is now time to awaken. It's time to live again. It's time to accept that something is and will always be. Okay? It is time to just live life differently. Okay? And I feel like a lot of you are ready for that. I have done readings throughout the whole month, and everyone's reading, I noticed there was something similar in everyone that I read with, no matter who or where. And that is, everyone seems to be ready to enter the new phase, a new chapter, a new beginning, a new way of living. So I don't see the fear in death. I see acceptance. Okay? I see openness. A lot of great stuff. We have a lot of cards flying out. And then, of course, look who decides to absolutely show up right as we're talking about them. Oh, forgive me. I have some cards that fell over. Okay, we're going to leave this. Actually, let's take all these three here. We'll put these on this side. Okay, that'll be like maybe like a little mini bonus. Okay, but let's focus on these. There is something within your childhood that you're realizing that you need to acknowledge or leave entirely. Okay? And the thing is that if we're going to decide to acknowledge something, we can't keep doing things as we always have in the past. Okay? There needs to be a change in the way we process. There needs to be a change in the way we view things. There even needs to be a change within us and how we perceive things. So, Scorpio season, right? Scorpios are very defensive, okay? They're defensive and they're just very quick to I don't want to say assume something, but Scorpios have a level of depth where they can basically look at someone and they can tell when you're off. They could tell when you're hiding something. They can tell whatever you don't want to reveal, they see it. Okay? And it's not that they see exactly what that thing is, although there's a good perception of how you're coming off that tells them, but it's more on just noticing a shift in behavior, a shift in dynamic. Very good at spotting change. So because of that level of depth, we can be very defensive. Scorpios can be very defensive, so the energy is very defensive. But it's good though. It's defensive, but at the same time, it's needing to understand something so deeply without showing the reaction of that, without being so defensive. Instead, it's trying to weigh the pros and cons. It's being accepting of things and not taking it so personal. But this is a level up, okay? Now, with some of you, a lot of things that I've noticed too is endings in relationships with other people, friendships, significant others, family members even. There's just a level of acceptance where, there's just no need to beat on a dead horse. Like, I think after so many attempts and so many tries, there's just this level of acceptance where it's like, okay, you know what? I've given enough. I've done what I can. What am I going to do? What am I going to do? Another thing of Scorpio and their energy, it could be very controlling. There's a need for control. And I'm not saying it's done intentionally, but there's a certain level of power that it just comes natural when you're dealing with Scorpio energy. Okay? It's just a little too, it's assertive, but with certainty. It doesn't matter where we get our information from. We know. That's the type of awakening I think most of us are going to have. We just know this is the way it's going to be now. The uncertainty is so real. So real. So there's different themes that we've seen thus far in death, as far as our childhood is concerned, as far as finally leaving something or just having a certain different perspective that just allows us to leave, with open arms, gracefully. It's just, the flow is just so easy. It's to the point where I think most of us feel that it's either the right time for something or this is something that's divinely guided. There's some synchronicity attached to it. It's not, there's no, it's like we're free from having to be repetitive. Sometimes we can get so fixated in our own ways that we tend to forget that we build habits that we are unaware of because it's so systematic. So it's being free of that mentally. It's being able to see the world with a new pair of eyes that have a lot more hope, enthusiasm, and optimism. Okay. And I think you're noticing that with this new outlook, you're also attracting a lot to yourself. Like, I don't know if it's a sense of luck, gaining money, like little winnings here and there. It's just things are working out for you naturally. And if that is the case, then just know that when you do get into this state of consciousness or high vibration, where you allow to just let things go without trying to force or control, when you accept that you cannot control everything, or you just accept the fact that whatever the situation is, you just accept, like there's just a level of freedom that comes with that when you have no longer have expectations. So you start to see things are working out despite the outcome not going in your favor. Okay. And I get that for most of us, it could be relationships we have with other people, just hoping for a different outcome to occur with a specific person in your life. That, another thing, Scorpios are loyal, but sometimes the loyalty can stem from a place like, it's just weird circumstances that get applied. So I don't know, for example, like there could be a sense of loyalty to someone just because they know a person who's done really good by you. Like it's like an association thing. Like you're loyal to people that go out of their way and help you, right? You have a lot of gratitude, but then it's like that gratitude also extends to the people around that particular person. And then I think that's where the loyalty kind of gets lost, because you figure, oh, if this person's my friend, their friend is my friend kind of thing. And then it becomes too much, right? So we're letting go of relationships. We're letting go of those relationships that we're giving too much and not getting enough in return. Okay. They don't have to be like very long-term relationships. They could be very platonic. They could be like maybe even business associates, colleagues, even like leaving a job. It's just, you fought so hard for something and the return was just not there. And at the same time, the expectation is because of this loyalty, this need to just, you do right by others, right? That Scorpio does right by others. So it's putting an ending on just how much we give and instead establishing more boundaries, firmer boundaries. And when we do that, like things become so clear. Okay. We even notice that people around us probably make us feel things that we don't feel within ourselves. So a lot of it is projected. I want you to also keep that in mind. Okay. These kind of negative energies that I'm picking up on this corner, right? This little bonus corner here. This is all tied together. How you feel sometimes, this is why I say, like, especially in Scorpio season, I mean, we're getting into Sag, but if you really want to kill off like any further negative energies, my suggestion always, salted baths. It really does cleanse your aura space so much. Like, I think a lot of people should put that into use. Or into practice more often. But a lot of times in this season, you're also going to be picking up on people's energies or their feelings, emotions that aren't necessarily yours. And I feel like this is where your faith and your values start to come in, because you're noticing your behavior patterns are changing. The way you think is different. Like, I feel like most of us are in this negative space, but the thing is, the reason why we're in that negative space is because of some of the relationships that we entertain, which is why I'm saying that there's going to be a lot of transformations in everyone's relationship. Doesn't matter with who. There's going to be some ending somewhere. Doesn't matter how minuscule that relationship is. There's going to be an ending for everyone to experience right now. But it's clearing away. It's helped by those salt baths. Also cleanse away the negative energies that do cling on to you from other people. Okay, they're called like psychic attacks. Sometimes they're not always intentional. Sometimes it's just someone's spiritual hygiene that's just really foul. And then like when a skunk sprays you and you're with that smell, that's basically what I'm saying about other people's energies. When you are in a higher frequency, when you are just doing you and limiting your time away from others, sometimes you'll meet people that will just kind of cling on to you unintentionally. So that's what this is about. Also, there's an authoritative figure in most of your lives where you're also having to let go of breaking barriers with someone who's authoritative in your space, or someone that holds a lot of power into the way you act, the way you behave, the way you think, the way you even speak, right? Whether it be a parental figure, a mentor, a significant other. It's just, there's these barriers that need to be broken. And that's also something that I feel like the ending for here, although it's necessary, it's really not going to feel like, I don't want to say the right thing, but the whole outcome does maybe leave you question your intentions, your goals, your aspirations. It's making you question everything you know to be right. There's someone in your midst who really does have a lot of influence on how you behave. And this is a time for you to reflect on that and to really, try to figure out who that person is. I don't know if you guys can see it. But also my suggestion is, if this is a significant other, I suggest not getting into any kind of relationship with them. I don't think it's going to go well. It's just going to be another repeated pattern that's inevitable. Okay? It's just going to cause a lot of confusion and misery. And, I feel like it's a game for this person too. They get off on putting you in a place of doubt. So, yeah, I would completely stay away. I'm telling you, this whole season is about us just seeing who we were from like 10 years ago to now. How much have we changed? And what part of us still remains the same that we can work on, that we can kind of break those barriers? That's what this season is all about. So let me bring out some oracle cards to see in which theme this might help or be in for most. So we have fear. So it's getting rid of some of your fears. Some of your fears could be not having a specific person in your life, a specific purpose, a specific meaning, job, whatever that is. Okay, that I guess you've always grown up to believe in. I think you're going to have to accept that that's not the reality. Okay, but it could be attached to some fear that's much deeper than that I think you need to work through. And I think that's what the world is trying to make you recognize. The world is also trying to make you recognize the things that you've gained despite the losses. Having gratitude, right? Where's the silver lining in some of these relationships, or some of these fears, or some of these themes that are going on in Scorpio season? What losses have you endured that also has brought in so much more, that probably would have never brought in all of the things that you're grateful for now if it wasn't for that one bad instance? I'm not taking all that, but this one fell, and we have fruition. So this is also, well, I think every time is a great time to manifest what our true desires are. Scorpio energy is all about desires, hidden desires, fantasies, taboos, things of the occult, things that are erotic, even sensuality and psychology. What is your desire? What is it that you would love to have or obtain, or where would you be at if you had the opportunity to just kind of take yourself either to a place or a timeline, or, another life? Where would you be? Who would you be? What would you be doing? Who would you be with? These are things that you can really formulate together to create a manifestation. Let it come to you, memorize it, and then picture yourself in that state of mind all the time. You'll start to see that your reality changes. But I don't suggest doing that until you have found fear, and gratitude. Because if you do it for the sake of doing it, then you're not recognizing exactly what you're wishing for, and it's not going to come out the way that you want. That's another thing with manifestation. Don't do it unless you've practiced self-awareness, unless you know to be specific, unless you put it into practice. Because if you just kind of at the moment wish for something that's very momentarily, it's not going to come out the way you want. Okay? So yeah, but I suggest definitely, indulging those fears. Now, I'm not saying to do anything extreme, right? But I feel like the fears, because it's Scorpio season, Scorpio is about psychology. It's more psychological. It's about discovering the unconscious mind. Or the subconscious. Let's go with the subconscious. It's getting a better understanding of who we are and how we react to others. It's being quiet. It's calculating. It's being analytical. It's being a little more reserved. Okay? I'm going to now take a few cards. These are some self-reflection cards, so let's start. So one is, what kinds of situations do you find activating or triggering? That's one way to get into your fears. What is the worst feeling in the world? Ooh, this is really targeting your fears, huh? Think about it. Just sit with it. Think about it. I'm not saying, okay, maybe I shouldn't say indulge, but baby steps, This is how you're able to kind of actually figure out what's behind the fear. Okay? Think about your last argument with someone. Did you actively try to see their point of view and discontent? Looking back, how would you have been more compassionate to them yourself? I think you can also find gratitude here. So I'm going to leave that with gratitude. And, actually we have one here. What traits did the people who raised you possess that you hope you not do or do not? That's another way to find gratitude as well. What traits did the people who raise you possess that you hope you don't? Interesting. There's the gratitude there. Think about it. But I'm going to leave that with you guys, okay? I hope you like the general. I'll try to put out more individual readings throughout the timeline. If I don't, forgive me. But the witch switch is definitely enhancing her knowledge of the occult here. So I may provide services in another field. We shall wait and see. And in the meantime, check out my Instagram. Information's in the bio, as well as my website if you want to book a personal reading with me. And I will see you around when I see you around, everyone. Happy Scorpio season. Bye.